So, MSI gave me this to play with. Christmas came early, if you know what I'm saying. It is so good. This is the MSI Radeon RX 5700 XT Gaming X GPU, which is a mouthful of a name, but that's probably my only gripe with it. This is an incredible piece of hardware. It is solid in so many ways, both literally because it's a pretty heavy chap and in gaming performance. It'll be able to run anything that 2020 throws at it on maximum settings, maybe even at 4K resolutions with a decent frame rate. But the real sweet spot for this card is 1440p. And also that's a good thing because that's a sweet spot for many games. Before we get ahead of ourselves, thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't yet liked it, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe for more. Anyway, let's first chat about the looks and features of this beast, then we can chat about the specifications, gaming performance, and its affordability. The Gaming X has a sleek design, and you can really see that MSI tried to tone down the flashiness of their Gaming X line. Flashiness is not necessarily bad, it just depends on what pleases you aesthetically, like when you're looking at your gaming rig or another person's gaming rig. And for this generation of Gaming X, MSI has clearly decided that less is more, and I like it. The fan openings are now circular instead of hexagonal, there isn't as much red floating around on the front covering, and its coloring is now more silver and lighter black than the previous just solid black. It's not as in your face with the colors, and you could say that the design aesthetic is more minimalist and just a little bit more subtle. It's less all out in your face raging dragon, right? Yet again, design is personal and all depends on what you prefer. I really like the side with the fans, so if you have the ability to vertically mount it like we did on the Sakura unboxing, you guys go check that out, then I totally recommend doing something like that. The Torx Fan 3.0 fans have zero frozen technology, which means that it is the third iteration of their fan design. And the fans shut off in low load scenarios to make gaming quieter. And we all prefer quieter gaming rigs. It has a solid backplate with a clean finish, building on the sleekness of the overall design, but it's not for the appearance alone, because the backplate actually helps to cool down the GPU when gaming starts, putting your machine under load. The Gaming X comes with RGB lighting. If you're into that kind of thing, it can help you match with other components on your gaming rig. It happens over here on this section of the board. The Gaming X also comes with MSI Afterburner, which allows you to tweak and overclock the GPU to really squeeze out those last few drops of FPS performance. But you can use the card with the stock settings and it will still hit everything out of the park at 1440p. Like, I can't explain to you what a treat that is. It's also AMD FreeSync compatible, which allows you to have a dynamic refresh rate that changes according to your refresh rate. This helps to reduce stutter and screen tearing to give you the best quality display finish that you can possibly get with this card and your setup. The Gaming X has a base clock of 1730 MHz and can be boosted right up to 1980 MHz and beyond, with some reviewers reporting speeds of up to 2000 MHz. It has a PCI Express 4.0 interface, 2560 cores, a memory speed of 14 gigabits per second, 8 gigabytes of DDR6 memory, and 256-bit memory bus. This thing is a beast. The Gaming X comes with 3 DisplayPort 1.4 ports and 1 HDMI 2.0B port. It has HDCP support, it will consume a maximum of 225 watts of power, and has 2 8-pin connectors, and is recommended that you pair the card with a 750 watt power supply, which really, if you can get that, will lower the cost of your PC if you don't have to get a 1000 watt power supply. The Gaming X is rather large. Its dimensions are 297 by 58 by 140 and weighs a whopping 1.4 kilograms. So make sure that you've got enough space in your gaming rig for this guy, because he's going to take up a bunch in your case. But trust me, it's worth it. The Gaming X supports DirectX 12 and OpenGL 4.6. It is multi-GPU DirectX 12 compatible, which means that you can pair it with another AMD GPU if you want to go ham. So if you can afford to get two of these, your computer's just gonna explode in the best way possible. That's not a bad thing. Explode as in like go into space, because it's so amazing. And you don't need a bridge or connector to pair it, which you traditionally do, which is a huge bonus and just helps the reliability of the setup. The card can support up to 4 displays, it is VR ready and can pump that maximum digital resolution up to, catch this, 7680 by 4320. That's basically 8K. I was gonna say 4K, it's basically 8K. But my suggestion is that you keep it at 1440p because that's a sweet spot for most games and you want to get the most frame rate out of it, especially if you're playing competitive games. If you would like to go deeper into the specifications, I highly suggest jumping over to Hardware Unboxed or Gamers Nexus for a fuller explanation of the technical side of this card and just to see how incredible it is, to see what hardcore tech journalists are talking about. Now we get into the part of the video that matters for a lot of you. It's the gaming performance. The card can have a sleek design, it can have all the technology in the world in it, but if it cannot perform, then at 1.4 kilograms, you might as well use it as a doorstop because it would not be worth putting into your gaming rig. But I've got good news for you. This thing works extremely well with modern games. It achieves well over 60 FPS in these 3 titles at maximum settings in 1440p, so you will have no issues with the smoothness of your gameplay running 1440p at 60Hz refresh rate, which in today's gaming is probably the resolution that achieves the greatest balance between image fidelity and performance. 1440p is crisper than 1080p, but it's not as taxing on your hardware as 4K. The card is probably a little overkill at 1080p and may be stretched in some titles at 4K and will drop below the FPS, the 60 FPS mark then. So 1440p is my sweet spot. Again, yeah, that's the sweet spot. In terms of temperatures under load, the Gaming X never went above 68 degrees Celsius, which is super cool. This is in keeping with the MSI Gaming X legacy of excellent aftermarket coolers. To boot, the card is also extremely silent under load, reaching a maximum fan speed of 1300 RPM, which translates into 40 decibels, which is in fact, and we researched this, the equivalent of the ambient noise heard inside a library, according to industrialnoisecontrol.com. If you don't believe me, check it out for yourself. It's extremely quiet. So, in conclusion, the AMD Radeon RX 5700 XT Gaming X is in the high-end gaming range of GPUs, but you get what you pay for. It is sleek in its design, it's got some excellent features, gaming performance at 1440p on maximum settings, cool temperatures, and silent fans under load make it well worth your hard-earned money. I can't stress this enough. This is probably like one of the most groundbreaking cards to drop in recent history. And if you are an extreme gamer and willing to spend, then you cannot go wrong with this card. So the AMD Radeon RX 5700 XT Gaming X gets my vote as a banging high-end GPU fit for any gaming rig. Now to play some more games.